Nerd Skool is a member of the Queen City Podcast Network, powered by Ortho Carolina. Now offering video visits, so you can take control of your orthopedic care from the comfort of your home. Schedule online at orthocarolina.com. Ortho Carolina, you improve.
Hey, fellows. It's the first snap of 11 of the season.
Nerd
Lord have mercy. Okay.
I am a super nerd.
Oh, my glasses are broken.
I am a super nerd.
My pocket is infected.
I am a super nerd.
Excelsior.
Nerd?
The Nerd Skool Podcast.
Starring Andy.
My name is Andy, and I am a super.
I'm a former entertainment journalist.
TBJ.
Hi, this is Tiffany. You may hear me be referred to as TBJ.
TBJ, y'all.
I am what I like to call a surprise nerd.
Art Star.
My name is Art Star, aka Dark Star.
He's the nerd Gotham City deserves.
And yours truly, call me
That's
Joe.
the second time I've printed that out. Just ripped it up. Bad dog. Don't rip up my GTA hacks. My cheats. She ripped up my cheat codes again. Damn it, I put my hand in the honey again.
Cheat codes.
I thought you went to clean up the honey, sir.
I did, but there must be more honey. Where is
Who's
it?
using
Sure,
cheat
you're not
codes?
just having some
there's the
oily
honey.
anal usage or something.
I must have dripped. So I was getting the last of my hot. I got hot honey. You guys ever heard of hot honey? It's honey with chili peppers infused. So it's like spicy and sweet. Mike's Hot Honey. I would sell it anytime, but I'm getting the last little bits of honey out of it, and so you know how the lid gets all honey filled and drops everywhere, and so I dripped it everywhere. Sorry. Yeah, Audrey came to tell me that my dog chewed up my cheat codes.
Why do you have cheat codes?
For GTA, I only play I only play GTA with the cheat codes. Have you ever done that? Like where you get, they have like explosive bullets, where you just shoot a car and it explodes.
It doesn't make it fun though.
Oh, it's very fun. I spend the whole time just blowing cars up. It's so
I
much.
think it's one of those games that it's fun enough without the cheat codes. I mean, if you want to.
Well, you can't.
Crimes,
You
can easily commit crimes.
Well, no, you can't. You can't play the cheats during a mission. Like it won't work.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just for when you're just screwing around. Like I'll just spend an hour driving up and down the beach, running people over. And it's fun.
You don't need cheat codes for that.
No, but you need fun. Like if you want to jump on a building and then just blow up every car, you put in the and then
he's telling you he's not playing to win. He's just playing to blow up things. Okay, he just wants to figure out how to blow up things.
And you get all the weapons, and you're invincible for 5 minutes at a time. So all the cops come shooting you.
Auto 5?
Yes. No, 4, 5. Yes. Whatever the newest one is now. I've just got that one.
5. Yeah.
I finished 4 finally.
I'm downloading 5 now.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun, and I don't care. It's cool because you can play 3 different guys, and you can switch between the 3. And
well, I got it from when it first came out. I bought it for $360.
Yeah,
but but then like I was seeing people playing on it. I don't know. It's weird. Like I downloaded because I was torn whether or not I wanted it or not.
Yeah.
So it was on sale, so I got it. But then like the other day I was looking at people online playing it. I literally saw some girl on Twitch playing it, and like they're like. People are literally fighting and arguing with each other over things that happen in the game. I guess, like you can't, I guess they have like these unspoken rules, like you're not supposed to kill noobs, and if someone's in a certain zone, you can't kill them. If you do, then like their gang will come hunt you down and kill you.
Oh,
steal
really?
Your property and stuff.
Jeez.
I'm like, it's a game.
Yeah, I'm afraid of that online world. It seems weird. I don't play online with anybody. I just play by myself. I think it's weird interacting with strangers across the world. You never know if it's some weirdo or I don't know. It just
when I used to play like Call of Duty and stuff online, and I used to hate when I get into a game and it's some little 13-year-old kid sitting there trying to talk to me. And I'm like, I'm a grown-ass man. I had to mute my mic because I don't want to talk to a little kid. Be on Chris Hansen or something.
You're going to be on one of them episodes.
Yeah, just for playing a video game with them. All right, so is everybody recording? Shall we get started?
I'm recording now.
Are you recording, Andy?
Yeah.
All right.
Hold on.
I'm gonna try to figure it out so the microphone.
I was checking to
doesn't
make
pick
sure
up
I
my
wasn't picking up
headphones,
everybody.
So it's just my voice.
Yeah, so I
Because
think
it sounds better with the
so.
mic.
The way I think to do that is to turn down your volume in your headphones.
Yeah.
As
I've got it as low as.
Yeah, as low as you can still hear it. That's what I found is the only thing that seems to work. Because if you have it turned up high, your mic picks it up, and then it's like an echo, and it's hard to do.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we're back. Nerd School is back again. We've got so many episodes. We're talking about Iron Man 2. We're talking about WandaVision. We've got so many things, and this is being recorded. It's all over the place. Sometimes we have a recording that we did in the summer. Sometimes we do one that was recorded yesterday. But now we are going to talk first. Let's just talk about WandaVision episodes. Was it 4 and 5?
5 and 6.
5 and 6. We got 6 episodes now.
5 and 6.
Yeah. So let's talk about 5 and 6 and what's going on and the big reveal. Everybody was holy crap! I can't believe this. And let's just jump right into that. We might as well. That's the whole thing where Pietro has been recast with the guy. I don't even know. You guys are gonna have to explain this to me. I think.
So
here's what I
it's
think.
The end of episode 5.
Yeah.
So let's say that. So because we're starting, you start at the end of.
Yeah,
episode.
5 and 6. So episode 5 is where the reveal, right? And then we see him in episode 6.
It is.
Yeah.
But I think we should talk about some pretty cool stuff before we get to the reveal.
Okay, we can do that.
Remember, before the reveal, excuse me. Before the reveal, a couple things happen that are pretty cool. Number 1, she does magic in front of Agnes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we see that.
And doesn't seem to give a damn at all. Vision's like, "What are you doing?"
Oh,
and she's
that's
like,
right.
That's fine. The kids are aging up in front of Agnes. Like, Agnes is in the house watching it all happen.
Yeah.
Wanda's not even blinking an eye. Remember, Vision was at work and he was able to tap into Homie's real life.
Yeah. That happened in 5, episode 5. Yeah, and that was
That's
a cool.
5.
That was a really cool moment.
5 was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we got the big reveal at the end, but 5 also started to give Vision an idea that something is really wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Something is
I'm
amiss.
still kind of curious as to how he can do that, or how he figured out he can do that by just tapping their heads or tapping the old computer.
But did he?
He got an email from Sword on that computer somehow.
Vision did.
Curious as to how that happened.
Vision had the email from Sword,
Vision.
and then Vision. Did you think he meant to do that, or do you think he just like grabbed the guy to calm him down and then realized he had that power? Am I frozen? Oh,
No, I think it seemed intentional, but maybe subconscious somehow, because
he's done it twice now.
I'm thinking, the fact that Wanda's seems to have a little trouble controlling him.
Yeah.
Is due to the fact that he's like super advanced tech. She's good at suppressing normal people, but he's a completely different kind of brain. So
right.
She can't, and maybe part of her doesn't want to control him. She wants him to want to be in this world.
Right.
But there's that weird moment where he's like, "You can't control me like you control them."
And she goes,
right.
"Oh, can't I?" Yes.
And that's
okay.
I'm curious.
I was like, fireworks, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, that's
right there.
So like maybe there's like something to him that she can't completely get her head around, and maybe that's like also whatever subconscious a synthezoid has is feeding him these like, oh, do this, do that to that guy, and maybe he'll. The interface. Maybe he's got some kind of subconscious interface going on.
Here's a dumb question.
Whatever this is.
I got a dumb question here
And
because
there's also the interesting thing, like the big conversation at the end of episode 5, is Wanda seems to not be either. Is she lying about being in control of everything, or is she struggling with the idea that she's in control of everything, or
right?
Like she's surprised that Vision thinks she's in control of all this.
Mm-hmm.
And everything we've seen, like earlier in the episode, she comes out and stomps, gives the only warning to the real world. She comes out and throws their drone out after the murder attempt from the shitty head of Sword.
Yeah.
And I've just noticed, I've just rewatched it, her accent comes back when she's out of the field.
Really?
When she goes back in, her accent's gone.
Yeah. Well, in episode 6, the big reveal, her brother does ask, "Where's your accent?" when she's inside the Westview bubble.
Now,
That's true. Although he doesn't have his accent either.
I thought that was like a funny barb, just that they always make fun of. But I think I was getting that confused with Scarlett Johansson, who everybody makes fun of her for not having a Russian accent, right? Isn't there like a thing there with everybody's like, why doesn't she?
I don't know how much anyone makes fun of her.
Oh, I always thought they did.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
It's just like, I mean, yeah, she's a master of disguise. She's a super spy. I imagine she's a vocal chameleon as well.
Well, I've seen
Black Widow doesn't bother me with that.
Now that I'm doing all this research for Nerd School and looking up Marvel stuff all the time, I'm getting all these Google like recommendations of articles I should read, and so I read all these headlines on accident. I'm like, oh man! And I did see something about Wanda's accent reveals. Is that a reveal? And is this a tell? And I just read one. I clicked on this one because it was like, new toy line might give away the ending of WandaVision, and it was something about Pietro.
I read that earlier today.
Do you see that art star? That's the one where they said the Funko Pop.
Some of those things be such a stretch. They're like, oh, his name's in quotation marks.
Yeah.
So maybe that means he's not Pietro. And why didn't they call him Peter Maximoff? And
yeah, that's clickbait.
That's all just clickbait.
Bad nerd.
There's a lot of that.
That's what you do, Andy. That's your job, isn't it? Right now, you're clickbait. Do you write clickbait?
Not that kind of clickbait.
It's so funny because you keep
make the title catchy, but he keep trying to deceive you with clickbait.
You keep freezing on my screen, but it's always at a time when I ask you something, so it looks like you're looking at me like, "What'd you just ask me? What'd you just like?" You're freezing for a second, but it's just because you're not mad. But all right, I got a dumb question. Because we didn't, we just jumped into WandaVision. We didn't plan on doing it, so we didn't go through the whole history of all that. So I don't really know much about Vision and Wanda. So this is going to be dumb. Hold your laughter and applause. Is he Jarvis? Are they the same thing?
This was all in most of the stuff here spins out of the Avengers Age of Ultron movie.
Yeah, which I don't know.
So we'll cover a lot of that then. That's where Vision first shows up in the movies.
Okay. But he's not Jarvis.
You'll be highly knowledgeable by then, though.
By then, I'll get it.
Jarvis.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, like
because he's got Jarvis's voice. Like that guy was hired originally just to do Jarvis's voice. Probably he had no idea he was going to be on a TV show.
Right. That was not his plan. Paul Bettany was like, I'm going to be in the closet, I'm going to say a few computery things, and I'm going to walk away with a bag of money.
Yeah.
And then eventually they built him up to the point where, all right, we're going to need you to start wearing a super makeup robot suit. Do I still get the bags of money?
Really?
Yeah, he was not expecting this, but I guess he's rolling with it.
And but in the comics, I would guess that in the comics, Jarvis has nothing to do with Vision because it's just the voice, right?
Correct.
Like they just wanted to use that voice of the intelligence or whatever that Iron Man has.
Jarvis in the comic books is a guy. He is a butler. He's I believe was like Tony Stark's butler, who basically just became the caretaker of the Avengers headquarters. Which used to be just Avengers Mansion, was in like downtown Manhattan somewhere, back in the classic days. And his name is Edwin Jarvis, and he's actually in the Agent Carter TV series.
I forgot about
Edwin
that
Jarvis
one.
Is actually a character that hangs out with Howard Stark, and also kind of partners up with Peggy Carter. And we see that's like the only thing from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter, which are in the same world, that translated, because we see him in Endgame. We see the guy who played Jarvis on Agent Carter in Avengers Endgame when Tony Stark is in the 70s talking to his own dad. And right at the end, like this guy who played Jarvis pulls up and takes
that's Jarvis the butler. Jarvis the butler, not Jarvis the
children.
That's Jarvis the butler you were just talking about, not the intelligence thing.
Right, and the intelligence we're to assume Tony Stark named it after Edwin Jarvis, who was kind of probably a figure in his childhood as Howard, his father's butler, I guess, or manservant or assistant or whatever you call it now.
Yeah.
Manservant is not a good word, but it probably was in that era.
No, it doesn't really jive with that.
No. But yeah, so Tony Stark named his AI after Jarvis, like basically his smart house.
And what's the acronym for it, Andy? I know you know it by heart.
I don't know. Do you remember?
just another random voice, blah blah. I know it's something like that, but yeah.
I don't know. I just figured he had funky names for everybody. We've seen him like when at the end of Age of Ultron. All right. So Jarvis is the AI. Tony Stark wants to build the Ultron project that sort of is the suit of armor around the world, as he calls it. So he's working with the Mind Stone that's in Loki's scepter to try to figure it out. And like he and Bruce Banner kind of like, we can't figure this out. But then it kind of sparks to life itself. Their half-finished project, it completes itself. It sort of half absorbs or like fights Jarvis. But and then we think it destroys Jarvis, but then he comes back later subconsciously. Here's another thought that goes with the subconscious vision thing. From Age of Ultron, we think Jarvis is destroyed, but it turns out he's like subconsciously keeping Ultron from getting nuclear weapons. There's that whole subplot where Jarvis doesn't realize he's doing it, but he keeps changing all the nuclear codes so Ultron can't get access to them until Tony Stark finds him in like Oslo or wherever the internet hub is and reconstitutes him.
And see, my thing with
if there's like a Jarvis subconscious thing going on there, maybe there's Jarvis subconscious thing going on here.
Right.
That's part of him.
And see, like I always think about how in was it Endgame? Well, when Shuri was messing around in his brain or whatever with the stone and she was doing whatever she was doing, I'm like, she's supposed to be really smart. So what if, like, when Thanos crushed the stone, like, are we really sure that Vision is dead? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the other thing about this episode I was very curious about, because Shuri could have done something and they made that big point where they could probably get rid of the Mind Stone and still keep Vision. So Vision might not be dead in general.
And the fact that he got outside of the Hex. I mean, he didn't get completely out, but he was outside of the Hex. And he still
moved past episode 5. Not even
I'm sorry.
6. Out of order. Do y'all see what I have to deal with?
Yeah.
You were on 5, and you done jumped to Ultron. You done jumped to Thanos, and now you in episode 6.
Future exposition on Vision. We're trying to help Joe understand the concept of Vision.
But our poor audience is like, these fools can't go in order for nothing.
No, we can't.
Yeah, let's jump back to WandaVision.
It's a tapestry. All right, so the end of Age of Ultron. All right, so Ultron, we think, killed Jarvis. Jarvis is still working in the background. Ultron creates his next evolution, which is his vision, which is where he gets his name of what he's like. Ultron is what he is. He wants to evolve into this synthezoid form. So he kind of creates this and tries to transfer his consciousness into it to this more powerful form.
Yeah.
With all his phasing tricks and all this. But the Avengers keep interrupting him and distracting him and things like that. And then they manage to steal the vision from Ultron. So he has to work on just creating an army. That's the whole thing. So they have this thing Ultron created. They decided to try to put Jarvis into that and combine those two AIs, and then Thor shows up and they're having a big fight. Like, you're making a murder bot that we're still trying to fight. You can't make another one. What are you doing, Tony? So there's a big fight about that. Thor shows up after learning about the Mind Stone and just basically throws some magic lightning into him, Frankenstein style, and suddenly the Vision is a thing.
Okay.
Not even the Vision really knows what he is in the movie. Yeah.
So there's some.
So short answer is a little bit, Joe. A little bit.
So there's some magic.
Jarvis, he's part Ultron. He's part Mind Stone. He's part whatever. Part Tony Stark, part Bruce Banner,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah.
He's a collection.
Okay.
Yeah, and now possibly part Shuri, because we don't know how much Shuri did. She's trying to rewire all of his neurons before in
True.
Infinity War before the
Corvus.
Thanos army gets to them.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah,
a lot going on.
I'm
with Vision.
completely lost. So let's get back to WandaVision.
It's okay,
which,
Joe.
you know, I think I've seen almost all these things, but you know, I've told you guys this 100 times. I need to see them 4 times and have a nerd explain to me by the time I get it. So we're gonna go one by one. We'll get to all this someday. I'll understand, but I'm still getting entertainment out of WandaVision. I think I almost am more entertained by you nerds reacting to it. Like I'm almost more excited to be like, oh, must be something. This seems like a thing. I can't wait to ask my friends. So I don't know what the hell you're excited about or why, but I figured out the Pietro thing, and you guys, yeah. So, but we're still on 5. Anything else in 5, TBJ, before we can move on to 6 that you want to talk about?
No, I'm still thinking about 5 here.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot in 5. You keep rushing through 5.
We don't-
had a
okay.
lot of good things.
Yeah, tell us.
Before her brother showed up.
Well, you know I missed them all because I don't know what I'm looking for. Tell me what I missed.
I mean, even if you didn't watch them, even if you hadn't seen anything else before, the conflict, the fact that we know this is a world that is Wanda's world somehow. Again, I go back to the fact that these kids keep aging every 2 seconds.
Yes.
And 24 hours, they have grown a decade.
Time out. Who are these kids? Are they
are comic book characters?
They're characters, right? Tommy and Billy, and they're who can you tell? Can we go into that or not? What?
Well, we can when we get to 6, we'll see more about them. We'll talk about them.
Yeah.
All right.
When we get to 6.
But 5, they age in a decade.
Yeah.
Again, Agnes has witnessed it. We see Wanda trying to stop them from aging themselves and rushing through stuff.
Yep.
We see the first conflict between Wanda and Vision because they've been so lovey-dovey up until now. This is the first time he's like, something ain't right, girl. And she's like, don't you worry about it. And he's like, but I am. And then you get to your big reveal. But what else did you have, Andy? Those are my things. I just don't want to skip over those because those were like...
Yeah. The thing a couple things is on the sword side of things. Vision died in Wakanda.
Okay.
During Thanos' attack. And, and then we haven't seen what has happened in Wakanda since Infinity War. Because Black Panther vanished. He blipped out. Okoye didn't. I think Shuri did. But
who are these? Who are you talking about? Who are these characters? Are these all Black Panther characters that you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
How have you not seen Black Panther yet?
I have, but once.
His brain didn't think to remember anything.
You know he's not holding on to names.
Yeah, I don't know.
That one
if you say Michael B. Jordan, or if you say that guy
Michonne from Walking Dead.
Yeah, if you say that, then I'll know what you're talking about. By the way, I just saw Black Lightning for the first time.
Is her Black Panther, the tech wizard in Wakanda? Her name is Shuri. She's his teenage sister.
Okay, I remember her. Yeah,
and she's the one that's trying to fix the Vision in Infinity War.
Yeah. I remember her. I remember that whole thing now. Yeah, she's cute.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not sure. I think the prevailing theory is that she was blipped out as well.
Oh.
So with Black Panther and Shuri gone, we don't know what the hell happened in Wakanda between that and Endgame, but which is like until I looked that up.
When you say prevailing theory, that's the prevailing theory of nerds, like nerddom, like just people on message boards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't know if it's been officially confirmed anywhere.
Okay.
But,
Lots of theories.
Yeah.
Lots of theories around.
We can neither confirm nor deny.
But we're not going to know that until Black Panther 2 comes around. They have a whole mess of issues to solve there. Like what's become of Wakanda in 5 years without the royal family.
Well, and now don't they? What's the word? What are they going to do without Black Panther's dead? Right, the actor
Chadwick Boseman.
Boseman died. So what? Is the word? I thought Michael B. Jordan was going to just take over, then become.
No, well, they're not going to replace him. The director was very specific that they weren't going to recast.
Yeah, not Michael B.
Black
Jordan.
Panther.
Isn't Michael B. Jordan his brother or something?
No, they're cousins.
His cousins, and he died in Black Panther.
Yes. Remember, bury me in the ocean with my ancestors.
Oh,
you don't remember that
yeah.
part where he was
Gosh, I guess I
extra
do.
Sexy?
I've seen Black Panther. Wait a minute, though.
Can we not objectify the actors?
Oh, don't start with me on objectifying. Y'all.
Wait a minute, though.
There's room in this world for the women to objectify some of these male characters.
Isn't Michael B. Jordan? Didn't we already talk about him in an earlier episode? He was somebody else already?
He played the Human Torch in a Fantastic Four movie.
One of the Fantastic Fours.
But also something else, right? Or just that?
No,
he's
nothing.
He's
He's done a lot of things.
Okay. Oh, I know.
But
He's got a good career, but I mean superhero wise, MCU wise. Okay.
He's actually a big nerd. Side note.
Is he? Okay.
Cool. He is.
I wouldn't think he's a nerd either. He's like
heavy.
TBJ. He's like a cool nerd or the surprise nerd.
But he talked about it. He co-produced Jin Lock. If you ever watched that series, he's in that. He co-produced that. Executive produced, I guess. He does a lot of nerd things on the low. Like his career is like other things, but he himself is a nerd.
Okay.
Cool. That is awesome.
Perfect
But the only reason to bring up Wakanda, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent there. It's just I just
can't wait to get to Black Panther.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. I love that movie.
It'll be a good one.
But Vision died in Wakanda, so I always thought Wakanda would have some kind of protection over him. If Shuri was still there, I always figured Shuri would have something to do with maybe she'd be able to bring Vision back.
Okay.
But until this series started, then I looked up. I guess everyone thinks Shuri blipped out. There may have been a shot of her or something in Endgame when they're trying to analyze who's dead and who's not. So I'm just wondering how SWORD got Vision's corpse out of Wakanda. Maybe there's enough chaos that they could do that, but
I feel
so when Wanda goes and gets Vision's corpse, it's in a SWORD headquarters facility.
Yeah.
And Wanda goes and takes Vision's corpse and I guess is reanimating him somehow.
Now, did we see this? Go ahead, Art.
I feel like at some point, this guy, what is his name? Hayward?
The
head of SWORD.
SWORD here is Hayward.
That sounds right.
Yeah, it feels like even the footage that he was showing them in 5 about Wanda taking Vision. I don't feel like something that could have just been doctored. And then the more and more I see of him, it makes me think about how
he's shady.
Right, yeah. But then also how SWORD looks more militaristic on a sort of a Hell Hydra kind of thing. And it makes me feel like this guy, he's not necessarily the bad guy, but then he's also not necessarily good, if that makes any sense.
Right.
Yeah.
But we see that in 5. I think that is our first glimpse that
he has a lot of mercenary tendencies.
Yeah. He's up to something.
I don't know if it's I think it's more a result.
I also feel okay. Go ahead.
All right. My thought is that he said offhand lines like you have the luxury of not living the last 5 years or something.
Sounded like Jack Nicholson from A Few Good Men. That's what I was thinking about when I saw that.
You have the luxury of not knowing what I know. That's the worst Jack Nicholson I've ever done. But I used to be able to do that whole Few Good Men monologue verbatim, and I don't know if I can do it again. But what was I saying? Oh, the fact that in the 5 years since Thanos attacked and destroyed half of the life, he's probably gone from the guy Monica remembers to the a more of a militaristic hard ass. So he makes the point earlier that SWORD used to be about exploring space, and now they're about terrestrial militarism.
So you think maybe he's like a Thunderbolt Ross kind of character?
In a way, I would guess maybe he's more hard-assed. He's he's been through too much, and
right, and blinded by this mission, blinded by the mission and the pain.
And he seems very, very prejudiced against superpowered people in general.
Yeah, because he said something to her that's like, basically like, you're salty to these folks. We all know how you feel about them.
Yeah,
is what
I'm
he said,
feeling like he probably had like Vision is almost like his maybe I don't want to say Trojan horse, but like it feels like he had something to do with Vision, like how you guys said, like how Vision is able to just like know to go up and touch people or whatever, and then like how like Darcy found out that he was tracking Vision on his personal.
Well, we didn't get to episode 6 yet, but I was going to mention there's something up with the way that he can track Vision. Listen, y'all just let's reveal the big reveal of 5, and then you can move to 6. Because Art, you were just trying to be up in 6.
I feel like this is what I feel like. I feel like the fact. Oh, and just real quick, I recently read that supposedly since there's only 3 episodes left, these next 3 episodes might be a tad bit longer.
Yeah, they're supposed to be an hour.
But I feel like because these episodes are, I don't want to say short, but they're like they run like half-hour sitcoms. They tend to kind of run because like you're used to when you're seeing a show like this, you're used to watching either a movie or an hour-long show, a la Peggy Carter, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of thing. So even though we're like, and then the fact that we're talking about 2 at a time, it kind of feels like we've watched this in one sitting. So it's like it's easy to go back and forth. Yeah. Plus, just the way that these episodes are set up, like you can talk about the big reveal, but then it'll call back to what happened this episode.
Wait, so
episode.
This is all just your argument for why we should be able to talk about 5 and 6 interchangeably? I thought you were going to give me. I thought you were going to drop this whole theory, and then you're just arguing about.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. He just wanted to combat the timekeeper. He just wanted to combat the timekeeper.
I'm just saying this. It's easy to, as a nerd, it's easy to go off on a random tangent and skip a few things.
And
come back to it.
I'm with you. I'm with you that when there's a big exciting thing, let's talk about it. And I can't wait to talk about it.
To the big exciting thing.
But before we get to that,
remind me to backtrack to 5 then. If we're going right to the big reveal.
I'm okay with you adding something in the 5.
I am too.
I don't have a problem with it either. I don't have a problem with it either. It's just
hard to wait. I'm good. I'm good to go back too, but I do want to say something about what Art was saying. Like, Art said something about how he's talking about the people with powers, like prejudice towards people with powers. That reminds me, and maybe it's supposed to be like this. Maybe this is all comics, but it has that same feeling of the X-Men thing, the mutants, like how the X-Men movies were. It was like
the prejudice towards mutants.
Yeah, like like there was like people were treating them like their racism towards their prejudice towards mutants, or they were treated the same way, like almost like they started a civil rights movement for mutants or something. But it only made me think. When Art, you said that, and I did hear them say that, it made me think you guys were speculating last time we talked about this could somehow be a way. I could be wrong about this, but I thought you guys said this could be a way for X-Men to be related because of the big reveal. Is that right? But we're not there yet. We don't want to talk about it. Okay. Right. But you were
right. It was mentioned previously.
Okay, I thought you said somehow this might be related.
Talk because of what this storyline is reminiscent of.
Because Scarlet Witch is a mutant, right? Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are both mutants. Is that right? Like X-Men. X-Men are mutants.
Originally, yes, but it's very convoluted.
Okay, that's fine. You just say it's convoluted. Go back.
Short answer.
It's convoluted, basically because short answer is they were mutants. They decided to make them not mutants to be more like the Marvel movies because they didn't have the rights to X-Men, and now that they have the rights to X-Men, maybe the comics will make them back into mutants again. Yeah. There's like they like rewrite their history or come up with new ways to explain how their history was wrong, just to sort of
wait a
make
minute.
them more familiar to the
So
Marvel
they
movie
changed
fans.
them when they started doing the MCU. They changed them to not be mutants, to be different than X-Men, is what you're saying.
Yeah, they were.
But now they own Fox or whoever it was that owned.
Yeah.
Now okay. But they still
So
don't
now that they
own
have
Warner
X
Brothers.
again.
You don't even think that, like, so at the end of, what was it, 4 or 3? 4. It was into 4 when Monica got pushed out of the Hex, right?
Yeah.
So, and then we see well, anyway, let's just say, Monica's DNA, her genetic code, has possibly been rewritten.
That's 6.
Yep, they bring that up in set. Art Star.
Let me just get this
out.
Listen.
Nope.
I didn't want to say it. That's why I said her genetic. I didn't even bring up nothing from 6, other than the fact, I said in 4, how when she came out of the Hex, you could see her body. She still had the Hex glow on her. Like, I mentioned that, and Joe was just talking about the big reveal, and we're talking about Pietro and mutants. I went back to 4. I went back to 4.
Yeah, it's my fault.
Started back in 4.
This episode is just going to be Art arguing about why he got so blue.
I started with episode 4.
You're right.
I try not to mention anything from 6, other than the fact that, we have seen the change.
Well, I'll be honest. I don't remember. I don't remember what happened in which
6.
one.
Y'all put me in 6.
We're deep in the nerd weeds here. This is the kind of arguments nerds have.
Yes.
Yes.
So you know,
Andy, what were you saying about 5? Let's go back to 5.
All right.
Let's finish up 5.
Quick bullet points. When you mentioned that sword, you're talking about, you just brought this up into my brain a minute ago when you said Hayward has some connection with Vision. How long did they have Vision's corpse in Sword headquarters, and what did they do with it? What were they trying to do with it? So there could be an element of Sword that is built into Vision. So that's an interesting theory that I hadn't thought of.
Quick sword question. Yeah. In the comics, is it related to specific superheroes? Kind of like S.H.I.E.L.D. is, I guess S.H.I.E.L.D.'s all of Marvel, but is there one dominant character? Sword's the guy that's always with, the Thing or whoever.
Spider-Woman was a part of Sword, right?
There was there's been Sword teams, like Agents of Sword, kind of like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
I think Guardians of the Galaxy has kind of been in contact with Sword.
Okay. Because there's space.
Which makes sense because they're out of space.
Yeah, the space thing. Yeah. Okay,
that's
fine.
a period of time where the Guardians of All right.
I mean, if there's not a big, I just wondered if there was where Sword is. There's always, like Art said, Spider-Woman or something like. Our nerd. I guess what I'm saying.
Not a big superhero. There is a specific character we haven't seen yet that is was introduced at the same time Sword was. Her name's Abigail Brand. She has green hair, but she might show up eventually.
Okay.
But the other thing I want to mention is the point when Wanda comes out of the Hex to threaten all the soldiers.
Yes, that was 5.
A theory I saw. That was 5.
Okay.
Yeah,
that was cool. That was a cool moment.
I
was scared to death. I was scared of her. She was come storming out there. I was like, "Oh no! What is she gonna do? She's gonna zap everybody."
Yeah, that's because you don't know. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But, they send the drone in. Monica tries to talk to her, and then Hayward overrides it and tries to kill her.
Yeah.
So she comes out and throws it at their feet.
That's
and
right.
Talks the shit.
Yeah.
I read a theory that's interesting to me that whoever, if there's someone else behind all this that's pulling the strings, that might not have been actually Wanda coming out. That might have been whoever's in control creating some kind of illusion or something like that. Speaking to try to warn them away to stop messing with whatever they're doing. I could be wrong, but that's a thing that I'd read and found kind of interesting.
Really can't wait till we figure out if she really is in control. Because there are moments, if you going back to the first episode or two, she couldn't remember a lot of things. So she either can't remember because she just blocked it out, or she can't remember because someone's messing around. And every episode, every episode she seems to question like, wait, what? Huh? What? And then there's a moment
even
of clarity,
in episode 5, she has a moment
Yeah.
where she can't remember. Episode 5, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, every episode she has a moment. So I think they're doing a good job of playing us to, is it her? Is it not her? Is it her? Is it not her? So I'm excited to see.
So you guys are thinking that it's either she's controlling everything and being bad, but you think there's an element of somebody might be doing something to Wanda, like analyzing her brain or something, or
manipulating her,
testing her, doing a test on her while she's unconscious or something, you think maybe?
Or exploring her crazy power level where she can rewrite reality.
Yeah.
Like they discovered in episode 5, Monica realizes her clothes were rewritten to look like her old 60s outfit or whatever, but it's like it took her Kevlar from her bulletproof vest and turned it into those clothes.
Yeah, so she was transforming items. Items are getting transformed as they're in there, which we figured out.
Yeah, so she's got this insane power level, and it might be some villain of some sort trying to tap that for their own abilities, but they need to figure out how to keep Wanda from glomming on to what they're doing. So they've got this huge hallucinatory illusion thing they've built around her to keep her mind occupied, maybe while they try to figure out how to manipulate her power.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a thought.
Nobody knows.
Either that or she's just grieving like crazy. Oh, we'll find out. We got 3 more episodes to find out.
And that's 3 more episodes of this season, right? Or is this only a 9-episode thing and then it's going away forever? Like, is it going to come back? Or don't we know?
I would have to imagine at the end of this, the whole sitcom conceit is shattered.
Yeah.
And what we do know is that Elizabeth Olsen is filming the Doctor Strange sequel.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so whatever this does is going to lead into that, we imagine. And whatever happens after that, I don't know. We don't know if Vision is going to be even really alive. We don't know. We have no idea if there can be a season 2.
So much is up in the air.
So this might not be just an ongoing series. It might be just a portal to another movie,
a special 9-episode.
If that's setting up a thing that this is what they will do from now on, anytime a big movie's about to come out, tie it all together with a series on Disney Plus. How cool is that? Like, we all get this, just like Art. I keep thinking of Art whenever I get excited about stuff. It's like they're giving this breadcrumb. They're giving us this candy. They're feeding us. Like he's so talking about what they're doing for us, kind of thing. That's a cool thing if that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I think this is a great way to give some character development that you can't fit into a big group movie.
Yeah.
For characters that they probably don't want. They think, I don't know if Wanda and Vision could carry their own film, which they could, but this is a good way to sort of let's focus on these characters, build them up, make people love them.
And we know that they're going to do it with some other characters too.
Yeah, that's the cool thing.
If they was doing this back in the day, Thor would have been the perfect vehicle for this, because you'd have had so many other things you could do with Thor. It would make us almost forget the first one and the second movie.
Yeah.
I look forward. I'm okay that it ends after one season. If you look at a lot of TV specials that were like a 6-episode arc, and then that was the end of that, I'm okay with that, because sometimes you kill things as we keep going into season after season.
Yeah, like Walking Dead.
After season, you're like, yo, wrap that up.
British TV series. British series are like, all right, here's one season. It's 6 episodes. That's it.
Well, in Canada, Letterkenny, it's only 7 episodes, and you're not sick of it. Especially if I'm binging them at the same time. Like, I'm binging Cheers as I'm binging Letterkenny. It's like, God, 25 episodes? How many of Carla's family do there have to be? Where I'm tired of Carla's family. They're just like, well, let's go back to Carla's dumb family again.
But they do that when they decide like we're gonna have 9 episodes of this. They get to flush it out and build it so they tell a full story. You don't have to leave it hanging.
Yep.
You don't have to do anything special. You can wrap up what you want to tell us.
When you have an end game, it makes it easier.
Well, that's what I was getting worried. Like I'm getting worried mainly for you three's health. If we get these we get these 3 more episodes and it's just left as a cliffhanger to next year or whatever, whenever.
Oh, they better not. I don't think they would cliffhanger.
Even if it is a cliffhanger, like Andy said, because these things are going to, like, you have Spider-Man 3 and you have Doctor Strange 2. So it's like, it might be a cliffhanger, but I feel like we'll get some sort of resolve in one of those
It'll
2
feed
movies.
into one of the movies.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's going to make you want to see that movie so bad. You know they're going to set it up where...
Let's be real. We were going to go see the movies anyway.
That's true.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
We were going to go anyway.
But you're going to go now. Of course, it's a pandemic and you can't go, but...
It'll be released on Disney Plus, and we'll all be sitting here watching
and
talking with Disney Plus.
Yes. Okay.
That's
so we don't know.
I mean, that's what everybody's been doing.
Yeah, you're right. Everything's been like that. Okay.
All the new movies that are supposed to come out have been like, you can catch it early for this price, and then you can wait a minute, and then it'll be regular on the streaming service.
Yep. Yeah. So, any other talking points on 5? Andy?
Come out cheaper, like how Wonder Woman just came out.
Yeah. The last talking point on 5 is the big reveal you keep trying to talk about, Joe.
Is that it? Andy, you don't have another thing to say?
Let's go to it. No.
Okay, the big reveal.
I just wanted to mention the sword thing and the Wanda theory.
Yep.
You
got it? You done with it?
Yeah.
He did it.
The big reveal.
Okay. So the big reveal.
Issue. I almost called it an issue like I'm reading a comic book.
Yeah.
The reveal at the end of the episode is that somehow Pietro Maximoff, her dead brother who got killed in the same Age of Ultron movie, is back alive. Except the guy playing him is the guy who played him in the X-Men movies. The X-Men Days of Future Past and X-Men Apocalypse, I believe. And maybe Dark Phoenix. I never saw that one. But
so these were the newer X-Men movies about the younger.
I don't think he was in
right?
Dark Phoenix, was he?
Not the old X-Men.
See Dark Phoenix, I don't know. Yeah, like the old X-Men, like there was the original X-Men movies.
X and X2 with Hugh Jackman and that one lady who played Rogue Girl.
And then they did the prequels with James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender and all those guys. But Hugh Jackman is in those too.
Yeah,
because
Wolverine's 1,000,000 years old, right? Is that the whole thing? He can't die.
Yeah. He was born in like the mid 1800s.
So but it's the same.
James Howlett.
But is it different? See, I guess that's where I'm confused about the whole X-Men thing.
So it's the actor from the X-Men movies playing her brother, not the actor who played him in the movie we saw them in the
MCU. Yes, but my question is, which because there was 2 different series of X-Men movies, right? Or they're all the same?
It's the most recent one.
Are they all the same?
It's not the one with the X2.
Okay,
no.
it's the more recent one they started doing.
Right.
But it's still not in the MCU. Trilogy, right? It's not in the MCU, but now it is in the MCU?
The Fox X-Men movies are all pretty much one universe.
Yeah.
It's they established with the black suited leather X-Men and X2.
Okay.
And then the third X-Men movie was a piece of crap. And so then they did a bunch of Wolverine movies that stand alone.
Piece of crap.
Yeah.
But then they decided to go back to the 60s and sort of tell the origin story of the X-Men, and they come forward. But in Days of Future Past, both worlds combine, and so we realize, this is all one.
Okay, I vaguely remember that.
Alternate path.
I think my kids were little, and I didn't sleep much.
Since I watched those X-Men movies.
So
that's the big twist.
Yeah.
Not only is he back, but it's not the actor we've seen with her in the Marvel movie.
Yeah, but do you think,
Yeah,
and you're thinking that's opening it up to...
In the X-Men movies, it's only sort of vaguely hinted at that maybe Quicksilver is Magneto's son. They sort of make a reference to it, which is in the comics he was Magneto's son.
Oh, that's
like
right.
They were both Magneto's children.
That's right.
Wanda and
I
PHO
forgot.
Were the twin children of Magneto.
Yeah.
But since Marvel didn't have the rights to Magneto at the time, they decided to give them a different origin.
They reworked it a little bit to benefit their movies.
Oh, wait. So it's ruined? Like they've
note. What's that?
So are you saying that they've already established a new origin of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver in the MCU because they didn't have rights to Magneto? So Magneto is now not their father in the MCU?
As far as we know, because they haven't introduced any of the X-Men characters into this yet. There was a weird rights sharing agreement where both the Fox X-Men movies and the Marvel movies have the rights to Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch because they fell both in the X-Men camp and in the Avengers camp.
Wow.
So, which is why, but the X-Men movies never did anything with Scarlet Witch, with Wanda, but they had the best parts of a couple of those X-Men movies were wacky Quicksilver comedy speed sequences.
Yeah.
Right.
That makes them memorable. So, and even in the X-Men movies, they only sort of hinted that he was Magneto's son. I don't think they officially established that. Whereas in the MCU, I mean, we get the little, and I think it was episode 5, I think it was, they go into their backstory. Like, all right, she was born in 89 in Sokovia to the Maximoff parents who were killed, and they were radicalized and joined Hydra. They volunteered for Hydra. Baron Strucker experimented on them and gave them their powers.
Right. Hey, hold up a second, though. The Maximoff is not I mean, is that her name in the comics?
Yeah.
And is that Magneto's name?
No.
So in the comics,
they can't use his name.
Yeah, but in the comics,
Magneto was Eric Lenshear.
In the comics, I think I might be a little hazy on this, but they were initially introduced in the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants that Magneto ran.
I think so.
But they weren't aware that they were related. Magneto wasn't aware that those twins were his.
Okay.
It was revealed later.
Yeah, that's
when
fine.
They decided to
that's enough.
That.
So it wasn't like, I mean, it wasn't a thing where in the comics they were mommy and daddy and happy family and kind of thing, and then it was like it wasn't obviously kids, but they're related, and you find out later. That's fine. Okay, that's enough. You've given me enough of that. Let's get back to WandaVision. Sorry, I know I keep throwing questions that require like a 20-minute answer, and then I
say that's a long rabbit hole, Joe.
Yeah, I could just see that's going to be another day before this is over. So I just wondered if that's fascinating to me. That it seems like they may have given her a different backstory. But as we've seen with anything, like the No Prize, you can always write a story to weave it into anything. So I would love for them to weave this in and add X-Men into the MCU. That'd be so cool and exciting.
I think that's their plan eventually. I don't know how they're going to do it, but like it can always be revealed, oh, by the way, I'm your real father.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
There are a lot of rumors.
Remember how you were raised by a weird cow person?
Yeah, cow person.
Right. JK.
Which they were.
I arranged that. No, there are rumors that's going to happen, but for WandaVision's purposes, it's clear that he is not who she was in the film with. She can see it. And so she even asked, like, why do you look different? What's up?
Yeah.
Who? What? She has questions.
Real quick. So, like, I don't know about you guys, but when she opened the door and then when you see his face, did anyone try to look in the mirror behind her to see if there was a reflection?
I just rewatched it, but I couldn't really see anything because it's just like an odd
I kept
angle.
going back and forth because I was like, wait, can we see in the mirror, see what his face looks like from that end or whatever?
Smart.
Like, I saw nothing.
But
I
nothing.
felt like that
We keep
shot
trying to
was
figure
there
out
for a
why.
purpose. And like,
No, I think it's
Not
there's
every
a
nerd theory
reason.
pans out.
There is a reason.
Not every
I
nerd
think.
theory pans out.
Go ahead, Andy.
I was just going to say I just said not every nerd theory pans out. Maybe the mirror doesn't mean anything.
Right. I didn't look at
like
the
why is that
mirror.
penny on the floor?
No, I just like that. I mean, that they don't gloss over it. They reference it more than once. Like, she is constantly asking him questions because she is like, something is up. Something is different. What's going on? So they don't gloss over it like, old sitcoms back in the day where the new Aunt Viv comes back and we just pretend that it's not a whole different woman playing Fresh Prince's aunt. They actually like gloss over it. This one, they do. She is suspicious. He does look different. It is acknowledged that, wait a minute, who are you? Are you sure? And I'm going to side-eye you 90% of episode 6.
Well, because we would know as an audience if it was a contract dispute with the guy who played Quicksilver before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you guys would all know, like,
I think they
they couldn't get that guy. Yeah, right. I mean, you would all know that, and then it would be... But this was a surprise. Like, nerds didn't even know he was going to be in it, right? That's what I thought people were more amazed at. How did they keep this a secret?
We knew he was recording. Well, they made it known that he was going to be on a set. We just didn't know. They tried to make it seem like they didn't know who he was going to play in the show.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay. I didn't know he was going to be on the set, but
I didn't know that
minor
either.
nerd note that might be interesting. This guy who played Quicksilver in the X-Men movies and is now playing him in WandaVision, Evan Peters, and the guy who played him in Age of Ultron, Aaron Taylor Johnson, starred together as best friends in the comic book movie Kick-Ass.
Whoa! Which is why she Is that why she references it?
Would it?
Does she?
Yeah,
she referenced Kick-Ass.
She had that moment where she said Kick-Ass. And I was like, oh, was she talking about that movie, Kick-Ass?
Bravo, writers.
Yeah.
Wait. I didn't even catch this. What do you, what moment?
It's something at the...
I want to say when it was sitting on the hay.
Yeah, like when they're in all the children are around, when he's like, where'd all these kids come from, And then it was something around there when they're sitting out there. And I can't remember what it was. I was like, I wonder why they talked about that.
Yeah, that's what I think it came up in that
dialogue. Well, that was going to be one of my questions to you guys. It's like, is Kick-Ass in the MCU? I can't remember what Kick-Ass even is.
No.
Yeah,
she mentions
Marvel
it. Comic.
You missed that, Andy?
But I think that's just the writers playing. I missed it too. So
you saw it, right, Art?
Points to Joe.
You saw it, right, Art? Or am I making? Maybe I'm making it up. Okay, yeah.
Right.
Because I remember thinking.
You're not making it up.
Because I remember thinking about that because I get Kick-Ass mixed with. I get it mixed up with Mystery Men, like because it's like a silly. It seems like a silly comic book thing or something.
Yeah.
But so I guess
Kick-Ass is more bloody. I guess it's more like if some kid tried to become a superhero, what would actually happen? He'd be a guy who beats people up with sticks, and it would get really bloody and
it'd be really bloody and gross. So is there a chance? And I guess will nerds be disappointed if, like, is there an angle to this where it could just be they wanted to have her create a fake Quicksilver, and how funny would it be if we get Evan Peters? That'd blow fans nuts, but it's not anything. Like, it's not going to be anything. It doesn't mean anything. It's just an illusion, and it just happens to be.
I think it's a thing.
You think it's a thing?
I think it's a thing.
We don't know.
I personally, I haven't gone down any rabbit holes on the internet, even though I keep getting suggestions. I think it's a thing. I also think, I was telling Andy before we started, I think there's more into it because if you pay attention to every time he asks Wanda's questions, it's about the world they're in. It's about like what she's up to. Where does she do this? Like, they're almost like, cop questions. So part of me is like, did she really subconsciously bring him back? How does because he keeps alluding to stuff, and you can see because she gets frustrated with him when he was like, what's the matter? Your husband's been dead once. Like, he has a wealth of info. And he's questioning her about every single thing in this universe. So first of all, if everyone else in this world has no memory of what's going on and they're just here, how does he have all this intel on the fact that she created the world, that there were no children here before, that she's controlling everybody? How does he have all that intel? This is Tiffany's theory only.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead. They're twins. So maybe he has a gateway into her thoughts.
That could be.
I'm just saying.
Possible.
And it's also he might tie into whatever Hayward's big secret is that Darcy's trying to hack into.
Well, I keep trying to think.
He's an agent of S.W.O.R.D. of some capacity.
I want to think.
To go undercover.
I want to think of the angle of like what. I'm just trying to think of like maybe we could crack it if we think like what was happening in the X-Men world, or what would the X-Men gain from getting into Scarlet Witch's head? You know, maybe that's
think it's coming in at that.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe, who knows?
I think it has something, but also think about it. When Vision wants to go off and leave the house and doesn't want to go trick-or-treating with them, it's him that's like, let him go. Let him go. Yeah. I'll be the father figure. I think that ties into him, like, he knows Vision's about to go off on the mission and try and find outside. I think he's up to something. I could be wrong. I'll say one nice thing about Art Star if we find out I'm wrong on one of these episodes.
Oh, boy.
I'll wager a bet that I will say something nice. But I think there's too many things.
I love how that came back to me.
There are too many things. Listen, I'd take the bet if I were you. There are too many things in his conversations that are just like he's really insistent on Vision leaving the house. And if he is really her twin, if you want to play the twin angle, then he would feel like her and know Vision's up to something.
Well,
and
maybe he wants to destroy Vision.
Insist that she go help find Vision.
Right.
Like he is okay with letting it go.
Mm-hmm.
And if these were really his nephews, would he not care if they're like, "Oh no, my dad's hurt. Oh no." He's like, "It doesn't matter, guys." Like, come on.
That's interesting.
Yeah, there's something there.
I would like to give a shout out to the costume department for using the comic book accurate costumes as their Halloween costumes.
Yeah, that's a funny way to do that. That's a good way to do it. Because those anytime they do I was going to say anytime they do those homages to the old goofy costumes, I love that. I eat that.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of that. And even the kids, even Billy and Tommy had comic book accurate costumes.
I love it.
Comic book
well, can we get to that
So
now? Who the hell are they?
And the production team. They're their kids. You keep wanting to pretend like they're not her children.
Well, and they can be her children, but they're superheroes, right? What superheroes are they? I almost looked it up, but I saved it to ask you guys.
Andy's got you.
They are the Young Avengers. There was a team called the Young Avengers that came together. I think the Avengers, something happened to the Avengers, so they kind of formed the Young Avengers, like a bunch of teenage kids who sort of patterned after the main Avengers. Their names are Wiccan and Speed, and you can guess which one is which.
Yeah.
Billy has the magical powers. That he's Wiccan. He takes more after Wanda, whereas Speed just has super speed, just like Quicksilver.
His uncle. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was one of the major. It was one of the first, or maybe not the first, but a major high-profile gay character is Billy. As he matures.
Oh, really?
We meet him in the teenage years. Yeah. The other members of the Young Avengers team, and it's changed a lot, but there was a Captain America kid named Patriot. There's a Hawkeye woman named Kate Bishop, who is actually going to be in the Hawkeye Disney Plus series. played by Haley Steinfeld. Wow. So they're going to introduce her as well.
Is that Jerry Seinfeld's daughter?
I think
that's Steinfeld.
Oh, Steinfeld. I was like, is that Jerry Seinfeld's daughter?
Steinfeld, yeah.
Oh.
No.
I don't know who that is.
And I think there was an Iron Lad who eventually turned out to be a teenage version of Kang the Conqueror.
These all
they're introducing in the.
These all sound dumb.
Well, they think you sound dumb too, Joe. Jeez.
Yeah. But it was actually a pretty good series, and as it evolved, it got even better. And characters from that are being introduced now, including Billy and Tommy here.
Gotcha. Yeah. And, so yes, they're real.
They are real characters. Whether or not they're going to remain real in the MCU remains to be seen.
That's what I love. That's what I love about WandaVision, I think, is that it's... And maybe all these movies do this, but it seems like this one more than anything, every single character, you think it's a background guy, but it's an actual somebody from a comic that may or may not turn into something. So it seems like the possibilities are endless. Like, were you talking about
that in the other movies?
Have we? We probably have.
We mentioned it. Yeah, we talked
all the
about
background
it
characters are
you
people.
You were asking a lot of questions about in Thor.
So they all are too. You're right. Yeah,
Marvel,
those were all people.
Remember we talked about how Marvel is very smart in their writing. Marvel is very
you're right.
Big picture. Now they do make people work for them when they need to, and they do adjust. But overall, they have pretty smart writers who do a really good job of working in what they can work in.
I mean, I guess I'm really having my first nerd excitement moment because thinking about this is, in general, all these characters they introduce, like we're saying, as background people, like the Thor's buddies from Asgard. Mm-hmm. Theoretically, you could have every one of these people could have their own movie. I mean, you're talking about Woo, Jimmy Woo could be. Yeah. He could have his own movie with those guys. You know, like I would watch it. He's hilarious. He's one of my favorite. I love that guy. Like he's got.
I believe he is going to be in the Shang-Chi movie.
Yeah,
he said Legend something. Of the Ten Rings.
What is that?
He mentioned something.
What's that?
Shang-Chi is Marvel's master of martial arts. And I think it's like how Black Panther was.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be an all-Asian cast.
Good.
Canada, I believe.
Yeah, because somebody was saying Asians aren't getting represented very good.
Isn't that supposed to come out this year?
I don't know. I think I remember seeing they were done filming it. But, I mean,
originally it was supposed to come out at the beginning of this year. But I think it's supposed to come out at some point this year.
I mean, we still got Black Widow. We still got the Eternals.
Right.
Yeah, I mean everything had to be rearranged in this world we live in, where you can't just go to.
I think
so.
Are they gonna run
anything that's supposed to come out at any time? I'm not putting any stock in it until it's actually on.
Are you guys at all worried that they're gonna run out of stuff to do? Like, how many battles can you have? Well, like, they've done everything. They've blown up everything. Like, is there always just more stuff to do? They haven't.
They're infinite timelines, Joe.
I know, but like, when have you guys
There's a reason
seen?
the actual comics have lasted this long.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
There's always a new story to tell.
But I keep thinking, like, to top it. How are they going to top
characters?
Yeah, I mean that's true.
I don't know if they're aiming to top it. I think they have time. I think they've got a formula that works for them. They have a way to work it, and there's enough material for them to work off, whether it's a big blockbuster or now that we have a streaming service, whether it's digging into more things like this, where it's projects made specifically for Disney Plus. I think they have room because, again, no one would have thought before this came out, like, let's make a TV show about Wanda and Vision. AKA WandaVision art. That's for you to remember.
Art WandaVision. That's how it works. It's WandaVision.
I think this platform opens the door for. I mean, think about it. Even with Star Wars, right? We have the main movies, but what did they start doing in between the main movies? And then what did they do with the animation? And then what did they do? Like, you can build and explore and dive into different corners of these are worlds, Joe. These are worlds. These are universes people are in. You can dive into a whole different corner of the universe and work on something that isn't like it doesn't have to be the big heroes. We're learning that. We are just as interested in not the main heroes.
It just has to be a really good story.
Yeah, that's. I think that's.
And if it's not a really good story, you'll lose.
Yeah, you guys are right, and I think I've never really thought about that much. I've always thought, oh, just superpowers and just explosions is all you need. But I just watched Black Lightning, which I didn't even know was a thing. Like I knew that I did some research on our podcast. We talked about that character when we did the 70s or the 60s, whenever he originated. And I was like, I didn't know there was a Black Lightning. I was so excited. I was like, I can't wait till someday they make a movie of this. I just discovered yesterday there's 4 seasons of Black Lightning. But I watched the first episode, and the writing
is... The music in that show was awesome.
The music's great, but the writing is terrible.
Well, that gets into the CW Arrowverse problem.
Yeah, like their writing is just... They feel like soap operas. Like,
yeah, you have to change your expectation with the CW shows because it's very it's a little more geared, I guess, towards teen drama.
Yeah,
it's a little. It's supposed to be, I guess, lighter and a bit more having
sitcom-y.
A lot more
it
fun
is meant
with
to
weird
be
comic book
sitcom-y.
mythology.
Yeah, it's like a sitcom.
See, here's where my nerddom extends into. What'd you say, Joe?
No, I didn't say anything. Go. No, I didn't say anything.
Oh. Okay,
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Here's where my nerddom extends into not letting something go. I watch all of those CW superhero shows. But like, for instance, like Black Lightning.
Yeah.
Like, I'm caught up on Black Lightning, but I didn't watch the latest episode. Whereas WandaVision comes out, I must see the latest episode. Like I watch, like I love The Flash, and I loved Arrow, but like in Legend of Tomorrow, like if it comes on, I won't sit like if I'm not at work, I won't sit there and say I must watch Legend of Tomorrow right now. Like last night, like I worked yesterday morning, so last night Black Lightning came on. I didn't feel like I must watch Black Lightning. I didn't even watch it today. Like, I don't know what happened, but it's one of those things like because I'm a nerd, I watch it. Like, I don't watch anything else on the CW.
You're supporting
I have friends like, do you watch all of
Yeah, you're supporting it because you want more of this.
I can't watch that show.
Yeah.
You know?
I get such a kick out of your watching it. I don't know why it entertains me to know what Art's watching.
I think we've already established that Marvel does an excellent job at writing. They've got something that some other people don't have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But I mean, the CW shows are enjoyable, but you just have to adjust what you want out of them.
Yeah, like those shows, I like the powers. I like the explosions. I like the powers, but but you're right. I mean, Tiffany or somebody said it's like a sitcom. It is. So I think my theory is these CW shows are what WandaVision was kind of making fun of in the first couple episodes. Like, it's an actual version of that. Like, it's if WandaVision was going to keep going, it would be a CW show. Yeah, so I don't know. But I was also going to say, I know I'm saying a bunch of stuff, but I love the fact that the other thing about this is that this can explore. And I mean, you guys said to me right away, I was like, I don't really care about Vision and I don't care about Scarlet Witch. I don't really care about these two. And you're like, that's why they did the show, you idiot. So they can expound on these characters and bring make you care about them. Now I do, but also similar to that in the Star Wars world. I don't know who I'm going to drop off with this one, but I finally am watching Clone Wars like little by every episode. I'm watching them instead of just having them on the background. And the cool thing about that is they are taking these Jedis from Clone Wars, the movie, all these background Jedis that they had, like 500 Jedis fighting in the background with crazy things on their head, and now they're making each one a character, and you care about them. And they're cool. I know who Ko Plun is, and Kit Fisto, and all these guys like Lumandara Andari or whatever it is. Like they're each episode is one of them, and you care. But Marvel's doing it also, and it's like a nerd moment where I'm like, hooray for everything. Let's do everybody get their own show and everybody get their own movie. And I'm here for all
that's
of
why
it.
it's never over. Like you said, you can't run out because there are different ways to approach every universe.
Yeah.
No matter what. Like you can even take listen, I love me some Harry Potter, not J.K. Rowling, because she is ridiculous.
She's
but
bounced. Yeah.
She has issues with trans rights. She's not cool people right now. But you can even go into 5 different levels of exploring Harry Potter without ever touching Harry Potter. Like you could go back in and focus on plenty of characters that aren't him, plenty of side adventures. You can focus on whatever nerddom you sit in, whatever level of nerddom you're into, you can go outside the main exposure to that. And I mean, it's everywhere. Listen, I don't know if you ever read fan fiction, but there's a lot of fan fiction of every genre that you can be nerdy about, which means there's a lot of room for writers to explore, to create content. Because if just regular schmegular fans can be like, I'm gonna write a story where this happens, think of what an actual TV writer can do with that, right? And so we're getting, and now we live in a world where you don't have to have a sitcom that airs on cable TV. You can just put it on your streaming service, get you a deal with Netflix for what we're watching, Disney Plus, whatever your streaming service is, and boom, like writer's heaven. So it will never ever end, Joe. Don't you worry.
Yeah,
there's enough nerds to last.
Well, I just feel like
times.
I feel like I guess that's good. I'm going to leave it at that. That was great. That was too beautiful for me to say anything else.
Nerds roll.
Excelsior! Oh, my glasses are broken.
My pocket is protected.
Okay.
Rap about the president no more, but evidently they don't see we in the streets still poor. Still more incarceration of my kinsmen by the prisons, and people thinking this election to end racism. Proud over pessimism, glad to see Obama, but don't expect me not to speak out when I still see problems.
The Nerd Skool Podcast.
Nerd Skool is a member of the Queen City Podcast Network, powered by Ortho Carolina. Now offering video visits so you can take control of your orthopedic care from the comfort of your home. Schedule online at orthocarolina.com. Ortho Carolina, you improved.